But it's Scooby. Y'all caught me snacking. What's going on? And welcome back to After the Snap. And I am your host, Tasha Pierce. This right here, Stream Something Sunday, where we talk about some streaming series and movies that we have been watching throughout the week. Of course, these freaking kittens come out from wherever they were hiding as soon as I get started. You jerks. I'm going to let them out of my room. Excuse me. Give me just a moment. Get out of my room. Both of them. Let's go. Let's go. See you later, alligator. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. You're not stupid, are you? You're the smart kitty right here. You don't look like you're going. So sorry. So sorry. Those silly cats. They hid all the way up until I turned this thing on and went live. But of course, I did just walk in here with some checkers. I am hungry. It took them a long time to deliver my food. So that is why you're going to catch me snacking because I'm starving. How's everybody doing? Davina says, hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday indeed. And Lysandra says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Miss Lysandra. Yeah. I'm sorry. Hey there, Stacy. Glad to see that you can make it. Yeah, I got me a little snack pack. I have to get me some. Of course, they forgot to give me my freaking sauce. But I mean, I guess I French fries and chicken bites with no sauce. So today our itinerary includes the mid-season finale of Star Trek Prodigy. It also includes Star Trek Discovery's first episode of the fourth season. So there's that. And then I'm going to do the first two episodes of The Wheel of Time. I'll do the next two next week because uh, even though my intentions were good, I did not watch the third episode. And I'm wondering, even though I feel like I like this show, I'm wondering if the fact that I am forcing myself to watch this third episode is it like, do you really like this show? um is it really just good in theory, and you want to like this show, so you're going to watch it, but I can't. It's like that third episode, I cannot get myself to commit to a time to watch it. Now, Lysandra is saying that she is team Wheel of Time. She said the Wheel of Time is so darn good. I completely agree with the first episodes that I've seen, the first two. And then Davina also watched the first episode of The Wheel of Time, and she has enjoyed it so far. So we'll see when we get to this conversation. Um, since you only watched the first episode, I'm gonna try not to spoil. We could keep it real loose so that we're not like killing the whole thing. It's really not a lot that has happened, just a bunch of setup. But we'll get to the Wheel of Time when we get to the Wheel of Time. I don't want to start it now. I don't know. These little chicken bites are delicious. Or I'm really, really hungry. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. Okay. Stacy, you too. Are you hungry or which one is it? I'll get that thing started, girl. Ain't gonna be no cooking around here. You better get in where you fit in. Find you something to eat, because I'm not cooking no big meal. Not this, nope. I haven't cooked a big meal in a long time though. Not just for Thanksgiving. Mm-mm. Food just goes to waste. It's like for so long it was just me and Quintel, and we eat that stuff for 1 or maybe 2 days, and then it's over. So now I've cooked a bunch of food for nothing, um, except for desserts, and we find a way to work those in. Sandra is pausing episode 3 of The Wheel of Time. Um, I'm glad you guys are watching it and enjoying it though. It feels good to have people watching along. Yep. So, before you know what? Because I do want to eat a little bit more of my meal, I'm gonna turn the show over to y'all for a couple minutes. So you let me know what you're watching. Now we gonna repeat this what you're watching a little later if anybody else shows up. Just give me your top pick of what you're watching, streaming series or a streaming movie. So nothing that we got to run out the house to go see. If you can sit at home, watch it on a streaming service, um, then put it in the chat. Share your suggestions with the rest of the audience. Oh, Reinhardt said he is watching King Richard right now. That's what's up. Oh, ooh, excuse me, boy. I'm drinking a shake too. I'm gonna pay for that later. Stacy says she just had fresh sliced pears with candied ginger. Sounds like it's something that's pretty darn good for you. um, Davina says she's gonna watch the other episodes of the Wheel of Time a little later, uh, and then she's gonna watch King Richard. Good suggestions. Reinhardt is still suggesting to us Foundation. So if you, I think that's an Apple TV. Lord have mercy, I always forget. Apple TV is Foundation. Sounds like another good. But sell me on it. Don't just tell me to watch it. Tell me why I should watch it, and give me your elevator pitch on why I should watch Foundation. Stacy liked King Richard as well. Boy, you guys got caught up on some on some content, I see. So let me know in the chat what it is that you are streaming, and then give me your best elevator pitch as to why we should watch what you're streaming. I'm a little jealous of some of the creators, the big creators, of course, not little peons like myself. The big creators have gotten to watch the first few episodes of Hawkeye uh, ahead of its scheduled release for all of us next week. Boy, I can't wait till I get to that size so that I can see the stuff first too. What's up, Disney? You can throw your girl 2 episodes of Hawkeye a couple days early. What's the business? Well, it don't look like nobody has any streaming suggestions besides Reinhardt, who told me Foundation. So I guess that means I got to get to work. talking about Star Trek Prodigy first. Oh, here's Reinhardt. Here's Reinhardt's elevator pitch. I'm sorry. You should watch Foundation. It is inspired. It has inspired every. It is inspired by every science fiction show to come after it. This is one of the finest works. My dear friend Mark, who we lost a few years ago. I'm guessing that's who introduced you to. That's who introduced you to the show Foundation. Says Foundation is has inspired every science fiction show that comes after it. So that's I mean that's a real reason because it's been some great science fiction that has come out in recent months. And it is about the clean dynasty. You have a genetic dynasty. Hmm. Sounds interesting. You know, let Reinhardt know if you're gonna take him up on the suggestion, or if you want to know more. In the meantime, I guess I can start talking about Star Trek Prodigy. Now, this episode is called Terra Firma. And of course, it is the follow up from last week's episode where we found our little crew on a planet that basically wants to eat them. Oh, let's pick up these comments and then I'll get into the synopsis. Stacy says my next door neighbors have me over to watch the channels I don't have. That's great. It's wonderful to have neighbors who you have that type of relationship with. You could come over and make sure you're keeping abreast on the TV shows and streaming series that you want to watch. You know that these are things that you want to be a part of. And then Reinhardt followed up with saying, Reinhardt, I said an elevator pitch. I don't know how big this building is that me and you in. This is a long ride down the elevator, guy. They stem from the first clean, and there are three versions uh, on the throne in any one time: Brother Day, Brother Dawn, and Brother Dusk. Their empire is so vast it makes the Federation look like a camping trip. And as with any dynasty, there's a brilliant mathematician, Harry Seldon, which is played by Jared Harris, who predicts the downfall of the empire. And um, Stacy said Foundation is on her to-do list. So you sold somebody on it. See, look at that. That was a long elevator ride though, Reinhardt. Next time we're gonna take the stairs so you can tell me the rest. Okay. So um last week we left the crew of the U.S.S. Protostar on a planet that wanted to eat them. So they're trying to make their escape. And this week we're picking right back up on this marooned on this deadly planet. The crew must work together with their captive Gwyn to stay alive, but the planet isn't the only thing in pursuit. Oh, we still got one more person saying that Foundation is on their list too. Y'all trying to make me watch Foundation. But okay. So we start off, of course, where we left off last week with Gwyn holding on to Murph, but Dow is still blaming her for the predicament that they're in. But everybody else is like, I mean, yeah, she did some messed up stuff, but she saved Murph. And I thought that meant something too. I was pretty I guess that to me started to show me the surprise of her having a heart. She has a heart. I didn't know whether she was yanking uh Rock Talk's chain when she was telling her that she would have helped if she would have known that, that they weren't criminals, that they weren't the dredges of society like her dad had told her. I guess that scene where she saved the little mascot of the ship, that scene showed that she did have some type of heart. And it also showed me just how much this doggone little bracelet, weapon, all of these things that this thing could do. Because when the shuttlecraft that Gwyn was in hit the planet, it was like it wasn't even fully formed shuttlecraft. Well, she broke her leg in that crash. She was able to use that same magical tool that she has. She was able to use that to make a makeshift leg brace. So I'm like, that thing is very, very versatile. It's got multi purposes, and I want to know what else it can do. Excuse me. Murder Planet. The kids were trying to figure out what to name this planet. It was Murder Planet for the win, but I mean, Rock Talk. I seconded Larry. I thought Larry was a good name for the planet. I mean, it just shows you how childlike she is, and I'm not saying childlike, just how young she is, because she is a child. She, of course, is the biggest care of the characters, but she's probably the youngest of them. She has she's a baby, and the things that she thinks of and the things that she says are probably 9 times out of 10 what children would say in these situations. What do you want to name this planet that's trying to kill us? And she said Larry. I thought it was cute. Oh gosh. Uh let's see. So yeah, there's our baby Rock Talk. Like I said, biggest one of them all. But you can just tell she has the least amount of life experience. Uh Now, I think that Murder Planet was a very good suggestion for this planet, because this planet now has sent one of these big red, or these like the Watcher robots, and the kids initially think that this thing is really there. But remember, this planet is real good, real good at showing you uh, what it wants you to see. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that milk catching up, maybe that milkshake catching up with me already. But so they started initially firing their phasers. There was no effect on it. But Gwyn was thinking, what can you do to a plant to hurt it? And she lit a fire. She lit a fire. And yeah, she lit a fire, and it did stop the little robot, the Watcher robot. But it also it set the entire little area of the planet that they were on. It set it ablaze. So now the kids got to make them run for it. They jump off the side of a cliff, because that's the only way that they can outrun the fire. And also, they slid down the side of the cliff, and then it started raining digestive acid. And I'm like, how many different things does this planet have for them? So it's gonna eat them by raining down the digestive juices on it. And I'm like, are you serious? This planet is really, it really means business. So there was a Klingon vessel, which let us know that other species had been marooned there at a point, and they didn't survive. But on this Klingon vessel, the kids find some food and a little respite away from this just acid rain, and then they got an opportunity to talk with each other. But back on the ship, back on the USS Protostar, we've got hologram Janeway trying to figure out how she can get the Protostar from entangled with all of these tendrils that's growing up out of the ground on the planet, trying to hold the ship down. She starts thinking to herself, hologram Janeway does. She's like, what would real Janeway? What would real Janeway do in this situation? And it made me laugh because a little part of me thought that maybe she thought that she had a little part of me thought that she had the programming. She wouldn't have to ask, that she would be able to access what real Janeway would do. But I guess that would only be in a situation that is predictable. This was a situation that you had to think on the fly. So now she has to, I guess, rely on other situations that Janeway had found herself in the past, and you know, access that information instead of it just being programmed. This is what you do if this happens. Who I'm like, who could expect this situation? Uh, so she got some photonic ship scrubbers, and she finds, of course, that she's using these ship scrubbers to get these vines off of the ship. And then she's trying to depart. But as she tries to depart, she finds that something is draining the power. And the program, her program, wasn't aware of it. She didn't know what this thing is that's draining the power. It is called a gravimetrical protostar containment. So it's like, what the heck is that? I've been watching Star Trek for decades. What is this gravimetrical protostar containment? We're gonna come back to that. Now this ship, the Diviner ship, shows up, and Dreadnought. That's that big Clarence. Clarence says it is like because I didn't watch those Star Wars cartoons. Clarence, remind me, what is the character's name? Claire. Oh, Grievous. So the character Grievous on one of the Star Wars cartoons kind of reminds those who have seen it, with Dreadnought. So Dreadnought is like the henchman of the Diviner, and the Diviner, as a reminder, I'm rapping. The Diviner, as a reminder, is Gwyn's daddy. Daddy. Um, so now that Dreadnought and the Diviner show up, um, the kids, of course, don't know that they're there until they run into them. And when they run into them, or Dreadnought, they automatically assume that Dreadnought is a figment of their imagination. This is something that the planet has manifested. And of course, you think that until the kids get shot, but get shot at by Dreadnought. So, anywho, um, Gwyn actually puts herself between the kids and this robot Dreadnought, and Dreadnought shoots the little device that she has on her leg, that the splint that she made her little magical weapon into. Yeah, he shoots it off her leg, which of course hobbles her leg. Remember, was broken. Now the children get away, but they left Gwyn behind, and they basically they couldn't stop because Dreadnought was there to kill them. He wasn't going to kill Gwyn, so they knew that she was in a way that she was safe. They took off. They start trying to find the protostar because Janeway, hologram Janeway, had gotten contact with them and told them that, hey, I'm just like 10 kilometers away from you. So double time, move it. And they made their move to where where they would be able to get back to the protostar. In the meantime, Gwyn finds her father, the diviner, on the planet. Now, um, diviner is in his mind, he's between his daughter, who is pleading for help because, of course, now that she's down, the planet is going to try to eat her really quickly. Uh, and then on the other side of the diviner is the USS Protostar. So he has an opportunity uh, to make a choice. Do I save my daughter, or do I run to this ship that I have been chasing them all over the galaxy trying to get to this ship? And he chose the ship. And as he was running towards the ship, he called it his salvation. And I'm gonna come back to that as well because what? So he called it his salvation. He left his daughter to die, which broke her heart. It broke her heart as she was continuing to be pulled under by these vines that were trying to devour her. Of course, we know what this planet does to people, right? The planet is going to show you initially what you want to see. So the diviner wants that protostar ship so bad that that's what he saw. He saw the what is it? He saw the ship because that's what he wanted to see. And unfortunately, it wasn't there. I mean, I guess that's not unfortunate. It's fortunate. It wasn't there. The ship was an illusion. It was a mirage. The ship, the planet was pulling a fast one on them. In the meantime, the kids were getting on the real USS Protostar. And as they're aboard the ship, it's like any other mama in the world. Janeway is counting her babies as they walk through the door. And then she realized that somebody was missing. Where is Gwyn? And it seemed like it was a little bit of a back and forth about whether or not to save Gwyn. I was really glad that they did decide to save her, but this rescue was not. It was unlike anything I've seen in a modern Trek episode, where they swung out of the bottom of the at the bottom of the ship with a rope, and they used the rope to kind of reel her in. Now, Gwyn, of course, is number one. She's surprised they came back for her. They could have made their escape, but instead of escaping, they came back and rescued her when her own daddy wouldn't rescue her. And now her allegiances are kind of changed. And Gwyn is going to do what she has to do to also escape her daddy, who has somehow gotten himself loose, and now he's back on the what is the name of their ship? I gotta go back up because I had it on the Rev 12. So on the Rev 12, they are in pursuit of the USS Protostar. But remember, Gwyn is somehow trained to use this ship, even though it's like, to me, how? But okay, she's trained to use the ship. So she gets in the chair, and Janeway was like, well, we really can't go anywhere because of this gravimetric containment. We what is it called? A gravimetric containment device or whatever it was. Anywho, Dal was like, well, turn it off. And then she was like, yeah, we can power that down. Gwyn is like, no. Her and Zero at the same time come to the realization that protostar, remember way back in the first episode and how excited I was about this third thing in engineering, where we have the double warp engine, and then we had this thing with this little star in the middle of that star is another drive to power the ship. It gives you I guess maximum warp. And no ship has ever been able to do that, and the crew like maintain their form on their ship. Things happen when you go past warp 10. So uh, I'm wondering what's going to happen next. Because the ship, of course, boom, they gone. Diviner can't keep up with it because he doesn't have the same type of drive in his ship. So now the kids are free in the galaxy somewhere. Of course, you know that the diviner is not going to give up. Excuse me. The diviner is not going to give up trying to find them, but now we know this ship is powered by a star, a flipping star. And okay, so I got questions. I got questions for anybody who has watched these episodes, because uh it's honestly, they have to know that these questions are going to exist. Okay, are transporters a thing of the past? That's first. Or were these transporters taken offline so that it would free up resources to use the protostar? Which would, if that's the case, if the transporters are just offline so that you can have the resources to use the protostar, it will make me think that, okay, the protostar was not a component of this ship to begin with, because why would you put transporters if you knew that it would take resources from the protostar? So it makes me feel like the protostar was something that was added after. This is not substantiated. This is me speculating at this point. I'm just trying to figure out where we really are in this series. So, are the transporters a thing of a past, or were they disabled to so that they can use the protostar drive? Um, Another one of my questions is, if the protostar was part of this ship when it went into the Delta Quadrant, number one, why does Janeway, hologram Janeway, not know anything about it? Like, why would she not know that this is part of the ship? That's number one. And then number two, how would the diviner know enough about the ship to teach Gwyn how to use it in advance of even finding the ship? So I got like multiple questions. Um, let me see. Reinhardt says, I love the fact that Gwyn sees who her father is, but I think the character of her father is something more there. I don't think he's a regular bad guy. I don't either. And the reason why is going back to when I said, remember, stick a pin in the word salvation. He called that ship his salvation. So he's speaking of it in reverence. And he's not talking about the ship, I don't think. He's talking about the protostar. Clarence said they should have at least talked about the transporters. Right. So either we don't have transporters, or we do. Maybe these kids are not even aware of what would be standard on a Starfleet vessel. And if Janeway isn't talking about transporters, it makes me feel like there are no transporters, that she doesn't have that knowledge programmed in her, because she would not need it, because there are no transporters, which would make me think, that part would make me think this thing, the protostar, was in this ship when it came from the Alpha Quadrant. If she said, oh, transporters are down because of this or that, then it'll make me think, okay, this ship does have transporters. They're just not using them. Reinhardt said, remember, the crew barely understands the ship. To them, they might not even know what transporters are. So yeah, we just said the same thing. Reinhardt said, I'm telling you, I think the diviner was a member of Starfleet, or definitely he's from the Federation. Clarence said she could have beamed them back to the ship, which makes me feel like that's why I keep saying it. This ship must not even be equipped with transporters. I don't think that I don't think it's equipped with transporters. And yes, Clarence, now we on the same track for real because that is why the ship landed. The ship landed because they couldn't transport to the surface. So if what I'm speculating on is in the right direction, this ship was made to be able to use the it was made to be able to use the protostar drive. But then we got this extra vehicle replicator. Why would that be more necessary? I guess it would. If you don't have transporters, you still need to move around quickly. You would need something to uh help you get around the surface of these planets. Okay, so I got other questions though. And I'm glad you guys are here because you're gonna answer some of them for me, I hope. Okay, the ship. The ship is programmed with the systems of the Delta Quadrant, and Chakotay is a captain. So we know that Voyager has already made it back to the Alpha Quadrant. Now, could the Protostar be there to pick up a crew of Delta Quadrant species who want to join the Federation? Is that like, are they there on a recruiting mission? You said you need to tweet the Hagemans. What is that? What's that? I'm lost. You tell me. Oh gosh. Oh, the people who wrote it? Is that what you're talking about? Um, so yeah, because the ship was programmed to know, hey, this is the Herogen system. We know how dangerous the Herogen system is. So it means to me that Janeway and company are already on the other side. They already have made it to the Alpha Quadrant. Plus, we have heard the rumor that Chakotay will be returning as a captain. So I feel like they're already in the Alpha Quadrant. So the only thing that you would send an empty ship back to the Delta Quadrant for is to pick up a crew of people who are going to be able to navigate it back or however, back and forth. Now, how is a Tellarite, Jankum Pog? How is he even in the Delta Quadrant? How many years? He's a little kid. How many years at a standard warp would it have taken for Jankum Pog to get to the Delta Quadrant? He would have had to have been born there, but how did he get there? What kind of vessel was he on? Because a Tellarite is a species from the Alpha Quadrant. Y'all following? Yeah, Clarence, I figured it out. Duh. Oh gosh. And then Reinhardt said, I have no idea. And I love that. I think it's going to be so interesting to see where they take the story. Yeah, but I like to speculate. And I got some questions. And the Klingon ship as well, Clarence. Yes, these are questions. How did Tellarite Jacob Pog get there? How did this Klingon ship get there? How many years did it take to get there? Or are they running into a caretaker type uh, alien? There's a lot of questions just by them being there, the Klingon ship and Jankum Pog. How much does hologram Janeway even know about this ship's mission? Was she supposed to be activated when she was activated? Was she only activated because there was a question asked? I got to know because she doesn't know anything about this protostar drive. And are there Starfleet members trapped on Tars Lamora? Is that where the protostar was headed? Was the protostar headed to Tars Lamora on a rescue mission, and it was intercepted or crash landed somehow by the diviner? So that wraps my questions. Does anybody have any answers? Oh gosh, because okay, we wait until January. I will get a great post birthday present to get to see what's happening. So maybe it's in the Delta Quadrant, but not 70,000 light years. I get it, but how far is the Delta Quadrant? If we were just on the edge of the Delta Quadrant, how far is it from the Alpha Quadrant? He said, "Hey, where are all the Klingons?" Oh, I'm sorry, that's a Discovery question. Well, look, that's a hell of a question for Discovery too. But even like even in this, because of course there were some Klingons. We got a bird of prey right here. We got Klingon food right here. So they got eaten by the planet, but where were they going? Like where? Why are they even there? And Reinhardt is saying 70 years, and yeah, it would take 70 years if it was really 70,000 light years that they had been flung into the Delta Quadrant. We don't know how deep they are in the Delta Quadrant. Maybe I'll look. I guess we kind of got a sense where we see the Hirogen. They're in the Hirogen system, so that is just about. It might be just about 70,000 light years because yeah, the Hirogen system is a system of the Hirogens are a race of aliens that Voyager ran into in the Delta Quadrant, and it wasn't like towards the end. On the old show, they said 70 years. That's at maximum. So we don't know how long it would have taken Voyager to get home because, of course, they can't run it at maximum warp the whole time. This is true. So the Hirogens are are a race of aliens that Voyager encountered. Um, they were at least, we could even say 40, we could say they were at least 60,000 light years, even though I'm being very generous. They were at least 60,000 light years away from the Alpha Quadrant when they started encountering the Hirogen. So we know pretty much, we have a roundabout idea of where they are in the Delta Quadrant. How are all of these ships getting there? How, unless something is bringing them to the Delta Quadrant, much like how Voyager found itself there in the first place, how are the rest of these ships getting there? How would we get a Klingon bird of prey? Protostar has this Protostar device that helps them to travel faster than maximum warp. So maybe they got there quickly, the ship. But and then how long have Janeway and the crew of Voyager, how long have they been back in the Alpha Quadrant? Have they been back in the Alpha Quadrant for 50 or 60 years by now? We got questions. Reinhardt says, well, remember when the last episode started, it took him 20 years to get home. Excuse me. So they still found a shortcut somewhere. When the last episode started, I don't remember what last episode. But yeah, um, if you got any other comments, I'm going to pause again, give you guys an opportunity to finish telling me what you're watching because yeah, I saw some stuff that I missed because I had started doing the review for Prodigy. Oh, by the way, on a scale from 1 to 5, I'm giving this because now we've got a fuller picture of what we were going for last week, and this week makes it a complete picture. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5. So yeah, I don't give 5s too easily. This anytime that you've got me asking these kinds of questions, you've got me stumped. I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure out where we could possibly be about to go next. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in. So what you watching? I saw Lysandra put something up here. Hopefully I can find it. Oh, she said, sorry it took me so long. Partner in Rhyme is good. MC Light plays in it. And when I say she can rap her butt off, girl, now you know we knew that MC Light got got uh got bars. We know that. But yeah, so that's another thing. I say that if you guys are interested in picking up a new series to stream or a movie to stream, there's some good suggestions in the comments, in the chat. Uh Reinhardt added, how did the U.S.S. Equinox get there? They never really explained that, and it wasn't the caretaker. You're right. Hmm. It wasn't the caretaker. Yeah, they must have been developing some type of system to of course they were trying to rescue. What were they trying to rescue? Some I got to figure out what happened. I'm gonna have to watch some things that kind of tie in to where we were with Prodigy, like the Herodian system. Of course, this is an animated series. It's for the kids, but they planted this stuff in here for us because the kids don't care about the Herodian system. We do. They want us also to be engaged and involved, and they got me because now I'm trying to figure out exactly where this ship is in the Delta Quadrant and why it's there. And there has to be precedent because of the things that were mentioned in this show and the things that have not been mentioned. Like Clarence said, they haven't even talked about a transporter. So it has to be uh Easter eggs, or at least I feel like it. I see a pattern in everything. Trust me. Reinhardt also said the last episode of Voyager was called Endgame. When it started, remember they were back on Earth. They had been back for about 10 or 12 years, but it took him 20 some years to get home. I'm trying to figure out, okay, so they were already back for 10 or 12 years. It took him 20 years to get home. Right. So they have to have some type of engine. Is that what we're getting at? Because I'm lost somewhere in my mind. We have to have some type of engine that's capable of traversing the area from the alpha quadrant to the delta quadrant uh in warp speeds higher than, or by using some other conduit, but in warp speeds higher than we knew were capable, or by using some other conduit. Is that what we're saying? And while I'm waiting for that answer, I'm going to start getting ready for Star Trek Discovery, Kobayashi Maru. I'm so glad I got y'all in the chat because without the Borg conduits. Okay. I'm confused. We gonna have to. I'm gonna have to just start rewatching, rewatching certain episodes to put me back. And especially because if you guys didn't know, Voyager was not my favorite Star Trek. And I have watched many of the episodes multiple times, but I have not watched it with the same repeatability that I have with TNG and with Deep Space Nine. Those are my two faves, and of course the original series. So I'm gonna have to give Voyager some more attention. I really am. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't hate it. It wasn't my favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back, and it is suddenly become super relevant, super relevant, and I'm excited about that. Now, anybody out there that's not watching Star Trek Prodigy, does any of this conversation make it even sound more interesting to you? Is this something that you think that, you know, you might want to give a chance? Might want to give it a chance. Who knows? But I am I am super duper. And yeah, Clarence, I'm going to tell on myself. So you guys put that episode out yesterday. I don't know. I think you put it out yesterday. It had to be yesterday, huh? Man, I was trying so hard. Like I saw it and I'm like, I'm not going to listen to that before I start talking about Star Trek. And then I walked by and there it was looking at me again. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to hit play. So I listen to you guys and I usually don't do that. Lysandra said when her new phone comes in, she is going to start watching Star Trek Prodigy. I think you'll enjoy it. Um, Now wait a minute. He said, "I'm sorry. I hate these. I hate those much. I'm so into King Richard. Will Smith is bringing it. Will Smith did bring it. Will Smith did bring it, and I'm gonna be talking about that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central. So if you want to join me, I think I might. Nope, I'm gonna stick with my initial plan, 7 p.m. Central. So yeah, we'll talk about King Richard, but that is another thing. If you looking for something to stream, King Richard, it's there for streaming. And yeah, it was already put in the what you're watching. Stacy had added that to the recommendations. So Star Trek Discovery, Kobayashi Maru. The Discovery, they're back. The crew of Discovery are back. Everybody's been promoted. Isn't that wonderful? Everybody, you get a promotion, and you get a promotion, and you get a promotion. Everybody got promoted. I'm really happy that we got to see a little bit more of everybody else. Of course, main focus is always Captain Michael Burnham, but we got to see a little bit of everybody else. Everybody else got a little involved. We heard names before. Remember, it took us a little while to even know what these people's names were on the bridge, and now they are not only using the names of the original bridge crew, they're also using the name of this new bridge member who is kind of taking over for Bryce while he's filming this other show. Oops, I mean working on another ship. Oh gosh. Yeah, Clarence. I didn't think they kicked him off the ship, but I was like, okay, who is this fella? And where did they put him? Where did they put Bryce? I like Bryce. So yeah, I was very happy to see him, this new kid, actually get a name. Lieutenant Christopher. He actually got a name before the third season that he was on the show. So yay for him. And also, Owo. I guess she said put some respect on my name. They've been calling her by her whole last Owosaka. They have not just been uh shortening her name like it's too hard to say. If you've been on a ship with somebody for years, the least you can do, in fact, the most respectful thing you can do, is call her by her name. Even if she likes being called Owo, she's a lieutenant. Call her Owo. I mean, Owosaka. Yeah, and Claire's he's a new black guy. Yep. Yeah. And I don't know, like, is he somebody that's been on the ship, or is he somebody that they've pulled from um this 32nd century, and he actually gets to be on this experimental ship, because it's to them this is an experiment. When we first got into this episode, Captain Michael Burnham and her boyfriend are on a diplomatic mission uh, to convince the species to uh to join the Federation. Come on, join this Federation. We're gonna give you all of this fuel for your ships because nobody's had dilithium. This is, I think they said 5 months after what we saw in Discovery season 3. So in these 5 months, they've been going from planet to planet, delivering dilithium and telling people, come on back home, y'all. Federation here for you. This species, the Alshane, they not having it. In fact, they don't trust the Federation. They don't understand why Grudge. That's why I named my cat Grudge. If you didn't know, I named the little chunky cat that I got. He is Grudge. The other one is Grogu. That's a Star Trek and a Star Wars reference. So I got all bases covered in space. So Book, Captain Michael Burnham's boyfriend, her boyfriend has a cat named Grudge. And these people were so afraid that he had, or that Book and Burnham are kidnapping this cat, that they are like ready to go to war for this cat. Yeah, I guess we could just call them the butterfly people, but that to me was okay. I didn't particularly, you know, I didn't really like that, the butterfly thing, but okay, it's something for everybody. It's not just for me. But anywho, they turned into some butterfly. I mean, they like the butterflies on a planet kind of like made some kind of transformer type armor around them, help them fly. These butterflies did. Yeah, because butterflies do that in the world of Star Trek. Just in case you didn't know, D. Lysandra. Yeah, butterflies. Not all butterflies. There's some butterflies on this planet. But anywho, um, Reinhard, you got all kinds of you got all kinds of what do you call it? Fun facts. Grudge is a Maine Coon. They're the biggest domestic cats. My cat is a alley cat, and and he's tiny, but he's round. But yeah, this species is not trusting them. They want to go and rescue Grudge because they think Grudge is in trouble, and they began to chase uh Burnham and Book. And pretty soon they start realizing, hey, these people cannot navigate because these I guess these butterflies use like the satellite system around this planet. So of course, for some reason, Burnham is just being extra helpful. She's not trying to get off of this planet. She's like, you know what? Repair their navigational satellites so that they can fly better as a gesture of goodwill. Even though these people are probably going to kill us if they catch us, just repair it. And of course, her risk pays off, but does she really need to be making these kinds of risks now that she is the captain? Did it really need to be her and Book on the diplomatic mission? Shouldn't she have had somebody from security? I know Book is going to look after her. That's his woman. But shouldn't she have had somebody else? Anybody else do this? Who is going to take over as captain if something happens to Burnham? Who's the first officer? Anyone? I don't know. I don't know who the first officer is. I don't know if she kept Tilly aboard as first officer. I don't know. I heard no mention of who the first officer was. We saw Reese taking over as captain when she leaves the ship. I don't know who the first officer is. So if something happens to Burnham, then what? um then we so is Reese, that's because that's the only he took the chair, so maybe he's Maybe he's the first officer. I don't get it. I don't know. You say you think Tilly still seems lost. I am Tilly in this situation because I'm lost too. Of course, there were some questions answered, but not those. Like, who is who? And then, okay, I'm skipping ahead. We know Saru is going to make his way back. We saw that in the trailers, right? What is his capacity going to be on the ship? So it's just questions, and things to me get a little fuzzy and a little bit messy. Now, Reinhardt said, nope, Michelle Paradise, the producer, said that's coming later on. You'll find out the situation of who's the number one. But okay, so before I start gambling with the captain's life, I probably should know that. That's for real. I probably should know who is going to take over this ship if something happens to her, because we know that Burnham is going to continue to take risks. Like, but well, I kind of knew what you meant, Clarence. I've just played on your words because I'm lost. I'm lost too. I'm lost in this time frame as well because it just don't make sense to me. I'm really upset that Burnham continues to do these things, uh, even if there is no plan B. Like, if something happens to me, this is what the plan B is. Like, she's the captain of the ship. Wouldn't one of the first acts that you would make as captain, wouldn't that be to choose a number one? If grudge grudge is the number one, I still think of something extra with that cat. So yeah, he might be, or she might be. I don't know. Yeah, she's a queen, so she might be their number one. Then we had this ceremony with the Starfleet, new Starfleet cadets. We saw this Archer space dock. Yep. We saw this Archer space dock, and we heard that the ending theme from Star Trek Enterprise playing as they were unveiling the space dock. And yeah, the president gave a speech, and I thought, of the two speeches that were given, I thought that Burnham's hit the mark a little bit better. But it seems like we had the ceremony. We see that we got a new class. This is the I guess the first class after the burn. So we got this new class of a Starfleet cadets coming on, and yay! I'm glad. We saw some familiar races. I saw some unfamiliar races, and I saw some of us. So I don't know. You guys saw? I know I saw a Tellarite. I know I saw a Ferengi. I saw some humans, and then I saw some species that I didn't particularly recognize. But I've only watched this one time. I haven't watched it a second time yet. So when I watch it a second time, I'll get into what these other species may be, unless you guys have some insight. Clarence had said the president had called her out. Yes, but I mean, even her call out was messy. But I'm gonna get to what I was thinking about that as well. Girl, every time I see when you talking, sometimes you way you say my name, it translated as Josh, and I got a nephew named Josh, and okay, Tosh, I'm Tosh. It's just like uh Spock, Kirk, and McCoy on went on away missions all the time. So we know Scotty would have taken over, but it's like, do we really want to risk the captain and first officer? But and also, the original series didn't have as much of the original series was pretty much setting up the original series. It wasn't setting up for a sequel because they had no clue they was going to get a sequel. They was just doing stuff. And so the main characters in the original series were Spock, Kirk, and McCoy. So that's who you would want to see going on these missions. They didn't know that we were still going to be talking about this 60 years later. But now here we are talking about it. And a lot has been established over the years uh about how a captain handles themselves when they especially when they are leaving the ship, when they're going on an away mission. In fact, we had some captains like Picard who rarely went on away missions because he felt his place was on the ship. You send your first officer on away missions, and then you have some like hell, I can't think of nobody else who I can't think of anybody else who went on as many away missions as Burnham. Even though she's just become captain, you're not a disposable member of the crew anymore. You are now you're in charge of the entire operation. You don't go on away missions. You choose a first officer, you train your first officer, and you send them. You say apparently yes, because they used to do it all the time. Yeah, but that's again, like I'm saying, nobody knew we was gonna still be talking about no Star Trek. Star Trek, when Kirk, McCoy, and Spock were in it, was just they was a self-contained thing. Once we started moving on to other parts of this franchise, some certain rules started being established. There wasn't even a prime directive in the original series. You think about that. They had Starfleet Order Number 1. There was no Federation. So think about that. More Wild West. Yeah, clearance. Reinhardt said, I was happy when Next Generation toned that down, but to be honest, you wouldn't send the XO of a ship that size on the mission. They got specialists that do missions in the military now. This is a TV show. Precisely. It's a TV show that has established a set of parameters for a vessel. And part of this, I mean, they can do whatever they want. We know that. If they wanted to write a flying pig into Star Trek Discovery, they can do that. It's their prerogative. But if we're doing things and we're trying to maintain some level of continuity, then we know that Burnham's behavior is outside of the realms of this continuity. Now, if whether we are going to give her a pass because it's Burnham is a whole different thing. But I'm saying logically, if we have set a standard of behavior over the last 30 some years for the way a captain behaves on a ship. Of course, she missed that 30 something years because she was thrust into the future damn near 1,000 years. So either somebody is going to rein her in or they're going to let her do whatever she wants. But what I'm saying is you're gambling with the life of one of the most important people on the ship, the person with the most experience on the ship, for because she doesn't trust that anybody else can do it as well as her. And that is where we are. I don't know if that's what we're getting at as far as this season, that she has to let go of a little bit of control. We shall see. But these are observations from this first episode. And there you said it, Clarence. Technically, she's from that era, but a whole now, and in our minds, and she's acting like she's from that era. So I get that part, but in my mind, the Federation, for it to have survived damn near 1,000 years past that era, there has to be parameters, there has to be rules, has to be regulations. Where are we? Who was in charge? Y'all got the inmates running the asylum. Burnham should have to conform to the way things have I'm not saying totally contained, but I am saying that she should have to conform to some of the rules and regulations that have been established over the last 1,000 years. I believe that the president was right to call her out. I still don't trust the president. I trust Burnham. And I mean, even with me playing devil's advocate, saying she seems to be a bit of a control freak, she needs to give up a little bit of the control. Even with me saying that, I trust Burnham far more than I trust this president for some reason. But part of what she said was 100 was 100% right. Let me see. I'm going back to my notes because we touched some things that that was in the notes that I no longer have to say. Uh oh, we were talking about we didn't talk about the distress signal from that repair station. Uh and the president decides that she's gonna go on this mission with them. This is the shit I'm talking about. Of course now. Of course now I think she probably has a system in place for if something were to happen to her. But why does she get to tell? Why does she get to tell them that she's going no matter what? Like, I know she's the president of the Federation, but this is a military operation. They firmly established don't trust politicians. Welcome to 21. Yeah. Uh, Reiner said, think about it outside the show. I think it would be good so that some of the other crew members could get more screen time. As much as I love seeing Sonequa Martin Green, but let some other people. I agree. I want to see um, I want to see her trust anybody. Anybody besides Saru and Tilly. I want to see more of Owo. I want to see more of Detmer. I want to see more of all these other characters in the best way that we could give them um, some screen time is on the away missions. Have something, have something happen, and we got to see far more of Worf because of away missions. We got to see far more of Geordi when he would go on away missions. Before, of course, we started really focusing more heavily on those characters. But in the beginning, the only time he was really going to talk to them was when they had something to do off of the ship, or those little moments. Yes, we're going to do this. Those moments are one thing. But I honestly think that these characters need more personality and they need more to do. And I agree with you there. And I love Sonequa Martin Green almost as much as the next guy because I mean the lady is a phenomenal actress. But I want to see Bryce. He looks good too. Oh gosh. Um. So this away mission that Tilly and Tal went on. Yeah, things went south real quick. Things went south really, really quick on this away mission. Some debris uh came swooping in. It rained down just stuff all over this system, this repair. Oh gosh, I've lost my train of thought. This repair station. Um, so the let me see. Let's see. Oh, Discovery's transporters been knocked out, so they can't lock onto the life signs and just bring those people onto Discovery. They have to send out a lifeboat, which that's cool. You send the lifeboat out, you bring in as many people as you can on this next trip. That's what the trip that was supposed to go to get Tilly, Adira, and then that commander from the repair station. And he freaked the heck out. He got really scared that he was going to die on this station, and he pulled his phaser out. He's like, I'm just gonna pull the phaser. Yeah, they wanted to extend the shields. I am so stopped up, and I know it's because I'm drinking this milkshake. This milkshakes do stuff to me up here, but I love milkshakes. But okay, so they need to do this rescue mission. They need to get Tilly, Adira, and Nahlas from this station. Now, Burnham, we already know from a previous episode that she is an accomplished pilot of those like small crafts. So she takes the worker bee out to complete this removal of taking this chunk of debris off of the hull before they can extend these shields. She has to be the one to do it. And the president was like, hey, I don't think that's a good idea. You think you're the only person that can do this, blah, blah, blah. She is the best at it. So instead of saying, okay, but who's the second best? She said, I'm going to do it myself. Okay. Worker bee is destroyed. Worker bee, she gets out there, boom, destroyed. But thankfully, she's got this programmable matter. Remember that from last season? The programmable matter in her suit turns her into like Iron Man? Oh, and she got the task completed, no matter what. But remember how she boom, 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 rocking around in this worker bee? I got a feeling that's gonna come back. We're gonna see some repercussions from that, because she should have had whiplash, a concussion. She should have a lot of things wrong with her simply because she took her whole head was rocking around. I actually feel very sorry for her in that moment. But she wouldn't have been out there if she would have trusted. Ooh, Clarence, you just said it. Seems like those little dots, the dots could have done that. No, Burnham got to go out there and be Wonder Woman. And I just think, as much as I love this lady, she's doing too much. She's just doing too much. She's got her hands in everything. I don't think she trusts anything. Now, Rillick, oh, Rillick, she talked that dude down, Nahlas, that I was talking about on the ship. On the station, he had pulled his phaser. He was about to do Tilly and them in. And here comes the president. We get our first real look at her being a politician. And she, spoke in a nice, calm voice and told him what he wanted to hear. And she talked him down. Of course, the man still, I think he died. Didn't he die? I think he died anyway, but she talked him down in the moment. Burnham, of course, hears this, and she she calls it for what it is. She was like, oh, since you like to call people out, was that some BS? Were you just reading his personnel file and just telling him what he wanted to hear? I thought he died, Clarence. Yeah. I didn't know. She's like, I'm gonna read his personnel file and tell him what he wants to hear. Now Burnham wants to call Rillick out, like, okay, because the shoe can be worn on either foot. So she told Rillick that that basically, I see what you're doing. I see you. They're having this conversation while she's still out there doing whatever it is that she's doing, moving this debris off of the hull. So I'm thinking, like, This could have this could have happened at another time. Y'all could have talked about this a little later. But anywho, they end up having a conversation later. Anyway, when Burnham came back on the ship, Rillick is telling her, look, um, I don't think that was a good idea. And then they get to talking, they have their, respectful conversation. And the conversation that we saw on the trailer about the pendulum and the wrecking ball, which I really did like the analogy. I'm going to put that in my bag of tricks. I like to save stuff that people say that I really like, and I like that. But she, let's see, Rillick lost me when her argument was mostly about it's not about the development of your people or getting the next line of captains ready. You could say anything since you're a politician and you're going to sell this to Burnham. Instead of saying sometimes people gonna die, instead of saying that, you could say, well, it would be better if you wouldn't do everything yourself. Sometimes you need to train a person to walk in your shoes because we never know. Tomorrow's not promised, and you want to have your ship covered if something were to ever happen to you or if you were to get promoted. I can't promote you if you don't have anybody on your ship that is promotable to take your spot. I think that would have been a more diplomatic approach than you're going to have to learn that sometimes you can't save everybody. Because to a person like Burnham, that is the last thing she wants to hear. She wants to save everybody. And in fact, she don't want everybody to survive. Burnham does not want everybody to survive. Burnham wants to save everyone. You know what I'm saying? That's those are two different things. It's two different things than I want everybody to survive this versus if a risk has to be taken, I want to be the one to do it. Those are two different things. And Burnham hasn't realized that, okay, the Kobayashi Maru, we understand that is a no-win situation. She didn't have to take that test probably. But if she did, then she knows that was a no-win situation. You're not going to win her over with the Kobayashi Maru conversation because we know that it's a rigged situation. It's a no-win situation. And it's supposed to be teaching people that sometimes no matter if you do everything right, the outcome will not be favorable or positive. You're right. And I forgot that she didn't even, those words came out of her mouth just like that. I don't believe in no-win situations. And that's what the Kobayashi Maru is. It's a no-win situation. But like she said, there have been others. Now, I don't know if Burnham is aware of others who have circumvented and found a way to make a win situation out of this no-win situation. But yeah, I agree with the part that leadership is about balance, but that is not the way you're going to sell a person like Burnham into giving up a little bit of the control. Now this president, but yeah, some about the president rubs me wrong. Just the fact that you felt like it was cool to say that to her, but you were so diplomatic in these other areas. The things that you were said, those words you chose very carefully. All the rest of these words, but then you say the absolute wrong thing to Burnham. Say the only reason I was here is because I wanted to promote you to another ship with an experimental drive, blase blue, and Burnham gathered her up real quick. You don't even have to come over here because I'm never leaving the ship. And I don't blame her. I don't know what makes you think I was going to be excited about going to another ship. This is my ship. This is my family. So again, Burnham, she feels like she needs to look after these people that she brought from all these centuries in the past. She feels responsible for them, and she's not going to give that to anybody else because that's Burnham. She cares too much and too deeply. Um, yeah, but anywho, I don't trust that president. I really don't. And then we had this coming of age ceremony on Quajon with Book. Long story short, he left the when as he was preparing to leave Quajon, these birds just come raining out of the sky. Oh, Tasha, you watch all the short treks? Yes, yes, I did, sir. All these birds come raining out of the sky. You're trying to figure out what was going on. It kind of made me think of the way things went down with the butterflies, but I don't know. Those two things don't have anything in common except, you know, those birds were falling out of the sky. Like, I don't know if they died in flight or if they were, their navigation was off. Um, at the end of the day, once he take his butt back on Discovery, some shit happened on his planet. Yeah, that can actually be scary, Clarence, when she's probably jealous because Burnham has clout because of being a hero. People will follow her. Yeah, especially politicians be really afraid of war heroes. If they themselves are not a war hero, they are very afraid of them because a war hero can rally people to do things because look, they survived this. They put their life on the line for the country. You're correct. Um so yeah, we saw Lieutenant Christopher Arnold, and we I'm trying to see. Oh, Quajon blew up. It's gone. Bye bye. I don't. I mean, that was effed up because we just saw this coming of age ceremony, and to know that this child, if he remained on the planet, that he did not, that he would not have survived this. You just came of age, and now you're gone. But yeah, so I know he's about to be destroyed. What was the other thing that I didn't talk about, Clarence? What am I forgetting? Kaminar. Oh, what Alderaan. Oh, okay. I didn't talk about Saru. I talked about him a little bit, but I didn't talk about him a lot. And the thing about Saru is, uh, he feels he feels a connection, a responsibility to Sukal. Sukal, like, man, I'm good. I'm over here with our people now. I am good. If you want to go back and check on your friends, I'm giving you the green light. Go ahead. But it was good to see that Saru was regarded as an elder, as one of the wise men of Kaminar now, and also that the Bayul and the gosh, I can't remember, Kelpians are working so well together after Saru um, led them to understanding one another back in Discovery. I believe that was Discovery season 2. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you love seeing Saru get all that respect. I did too, because he is like over there. He's the man. He has seen so much over so many years, and he's got wisdom, and then the wisdom would be respected. Especially, I'm pretty sure that after he did what he did for gosh, for the Kelpians and the Bayul back in the day, I'm pretty sure this dude was in history books. And then to actually see him, he probably looks Christ-like to them. He was probably like he probably was like a dang, Saru, we heard about him. We got books written about him, and now he's resurrected. He's back. So yeah, say that probably was a Mandalorian style volume shot. Now, what do you mean, Mandalorian style? Yeah. Um. Where else? Where else? So we only saw him, like we say, we only saw Saru briefly, but we know that he's just gotten the green light to go ahead and go and be back with his friends. If he had to come back to Kaminar, so be it. Check on us, but go on over there and be with your friends. I know where your heart is, and that's what I'm sure he's going to do. Hmm. The screen. So yeah, and that's it. That's all I've got. I don't have a whole lot of follow-up questions because this is only the first episode. So I have a little time to start picking things apart and wondering where things are headed next and asking a bunch of questions. The technology used for the You know what? I didn't know I didn't realize what they were calling that. I saw that they were using so much something very different for the Mandalorian. It wasn't necessarily the green screen, but yeah, that technology, especially since when you look at Star Trek Discovery, and I guess that is one thing that I did want to mention. Did you like? Did you read the credits? Like they got a whole set of credits for people who are doing nothing but setting up and making the uh the production COVID-19 compliant. And that would be another thing that would help in that endeavor to keep those productions safe. So yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I found that kind of amazing because I was like, they really they took things very seriously with making sure that people didn't didn't come in contact with this virus. And I don't know if others, because I don't read everybody's credits and I didn't even mean to read these, but um I don't know if other productions has an entire wing of their production team that is set to do these things, but I was very impressed. Very impressed. Star Trek is real about keeping their people safe. Um, and that's all I've got for Star Trek. And last but not least on our topics today is, dang, did I even make the thing? Did I plan to talk about the Wheel of Time at all? I don't know. While I'm doing that though, then I guess I can tell you to let's see. Go ahead if you want to donate to the show. Reinhardt says this is gonna be a really good season. I truly hope so. I've not been disappointed. I was slightly disappointed about the burn, but it's like, they don't owe me nothing. And it was a very Star Trek uh I guess it was a very Star Trek dilemma, and the answer to the problem was very Star Trek as well. So how can you be mad about that? You can be not happy about it. You can't be mad. Oh, rating. You're so correct. Rating. On my regular 1 to 5, I would give this one a 3.75, and that's simply because it's the first episode of the fourth season. I want you to prove to me that this season is going to be as good as I think it is. I'm not going to give you nothing high. You know how I am. Yeah, my ratings, I'm a tough rater, but if an episode is truly a five, I'm gonna give it a five. But this one, if you saw my nitpicks, I'm waiting to see where this thing goes, and hopefully it is hopefully it will be as promising as we think it is. I really and they have to have some idea like this gravitational anomaly that is about to be what we can consider the big bad of this season. I have learned that there does not have to be an entity behind these situations, that it is the situation itself is the big bad. That's one way that I have grown since last season, all the energy of me trying to figure out who was behind the burn, when it really doesn't necessarily have to be that. This gravitational anomaly that we're facing right now could very well be the bad guy of this season. Even though I think we still got this president to look at. We still have Vance, who we got to see his wife and daughter. It wasn't that nice to see. Yeah, it's nice to see. They're humanizing him. Some ain't right. I still don't trust him. And what was the other thing? Kovic. We haven't seen him yet. We know we're going to. I am. I don't trust a lot of these Federation people. I just don't. But I do also know that this gravitational anomaly could have absolutely nothing to do with them. It could very well be uh, um, just something that happened. It's just is that is the bad guy in this. Something scientific. Yeah, I like seeing his family to clearance, even though I don't trust him. Some about him, it just rubs me wrong. Always has since the beginning of the first time we met that guy last year. Oh gosh. But hey, we going into the wheel of time. And I'm not gonna hit too many points because, like I said, I lied to everybody that I told that I was gonna watch all three of these episodes. And that's when I asked myself, self, are you forcing yourself to like this show? I don't think I am. I don't think I'm forcing myself to like the show. And I like the fact that a couple of you have joined me in watching it, because it gets a little lonely. It gets a little lonely watching episodes by yourself and talking about it, and nobody cares. So you guys care. So what if you're watching The Wheel of Time, what did you like about these first? I think Davina says she's only seen the first one. So I think we probably shouldn't spoil anything for her. And I've got all kinds of spoilers in what I've written up. Since you are watching it with me, what did we think about the introduction to this society? And what do we think about, like, this dragon reborn prophecy, and the people of Two Rivers, and uh, what is the Aes Sedai's name? Moiraine. So what do we think about these characters? Uh, we had Rand uh, and Egwene. Now Egwene had just been uh, made a matriarch of Two Rivers. I guess you reach a certain age and you become initiated into the ranks of matriarchy. So they give you a braid, and once you got that braid, everybody knows that you are hierarchy. You are um, uh, you're basically a matriarch. We are to revere you. Um, oh no, 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 no! I don't spoil, baby. Especially if you plan on watching the second. I don't spoil. Not like that. I can, but if I know that you're going to be here, I'm not about to spoil that for you. I want you to discover all of the wonders of Two Rivers and beyond Two Rivers. Now that might be a little spoiler, but I want you to experience Two Rivers and what's beyond Two Rivers and the perils that these people face. I want you to experience that just like I got to, because it was some shocking things. Now there's a bigger issue that oh, Clarence says, should I be watching? Tell me why. You're gonna turn my question around on me. Okay. Well, okay. This is the issue with me and this. The story that we're getting so far, if you can separate it from you can if you can separate what they are telling us from what they are showing us, it seems like there's a lot of story to tell, and it seems like there is a deep enough story there to be engaging over a long period of time. Now what they're showing us is it's a little different, and these are the issues that I have with what they're showing us. What they're showing us is a society that is basically the only they don't have electricity, they don't have the only thing they have is the sun and fire, but everything in this place is pristine, crystal clean. I don't know if that is part of the lore of this, or if this is something that was uh where Amazon's creative team behind this dropped the ball, because this should be some dirty people. These buildings should be dirty. The only time that you, you know what I'm saying, everything shouldn't look brand new. Okay, but that's a Tasha thing. Um, these characters, the story so far is about these two houses. It's about this town. We have the Two Rivers Society, where these people, again, no electricity. So we're pre-electricity. We got sunlight, we got fire, and they have uh, a reverence of the women. The women are held to a higher esteem. Um, the women are like what do they have? They have wisdom. That's basically what we're calling it, wisdom. They take a lot of the power out of the men's hands, because during the spins on this wheel of time, when the men held the power, there was a lot of war. The dragon returned. It's a I don't know the lore behind the books. All I know is what we've been shown these first I've got the first two episodes behind me. The first two episodes. And what I can tell you about the first two episodes is that it's so many layers to this thing. I can't compare it to like your Game of Thrones or your game of or, I mean, of your Lord of the Rings. I've seen Lord of the Rings. I don't see enough of this to say these two things are the same. Game of Thrones, I never saw it. It's well shot, but the VFX are cheesy. But the story is what is getting me. And that if you're in it for a story, this is something you should be watching. Took me about how much? 37 minutes to say this. If you're in it for a good story, watch this. If everything has to match up, if it has to be uh, presented in a way that'll put you in to this story, I don't know if it's gonna be for you. Because if you're like me, like I can nitpick the shit out of something. And like, for instance, this town, like if a woman has on a white dress, in a society that is only lit by the sun and fire, that white dress should not be pure white. It should be a little dingy. You know what I'm saying? It should. If you go to a town that's been abandoned, and now I think that was second episode, so be careful here, D. But if you go to a town that's been abandoned for years, it shouldn't be like spotless clean. It should not be look like I just built it. It should not. So these are nitpicks that I have that are not it's just some Tasha stuff. But Tasha, I'm a weird person. I'm noticing this stuff. And if you want me to be absorbed in the story, you have to notice that stuff too. If you want me to be absorbed in what I'm seeing, you have to notice that stuff. If you want me to be absorbed in the story's got to be good. And so far, I am intrigued. I really do want to know which one of these four people, these four young people, because they're all 20, round in their early 20s. These four people that were chosen up out of this village who could possibly be the dragon reborn. Now, a lot of the power in these communities, the two rivers especially, is with the women. So it was three guys and one woman selected out of this village who could possibly be the dragon reborn. And you ask yourself, wouldn't it be the woman? I mean, wouldn't it be the woman? Even though also the last time the dragon was born and men fought it and all of this, they kind of blew it. These earrings were heavy. I'm sorry. It kind of blew it, and and they maybe it's a man. I don't know, but I do want to know. So maybe today I'll know for sure. If I go ahead and watch this this third episode, we'll see how I feel moving forward. I don't want it to feel like a chore that I'm like making myself watch this. It's not that serious, but I did like the first two episodes. I don't know why I'm dragging my feet on this third episode. Who else is watching? If you've got Amazon Prime no clearance, it's like give it an opportunity. First episode, see what it does for you. Because for me, there's enough about the story that is engaging me. I want to know more. uh, I don't know. I might have lost Lysandra. All that Star Trek talk might have just might might have been too much for her. Oh, okay, there you are. I thought you were gone. So, what did you think of the first? How many episodes have you watched so far, Lysandra? And what did you think of the first couple? Because, or whatever you've watched, I'm saying the first couple. I watched the first couple. The third episode, and like I say, it's out. I don't know why I'm dragging my feet. It could very well be I'm overstimulated and I'm watching too much stuff, and I just need to take a break of watching. I didn't see this, D. Lots of layers in history. Yeah, they are. They're giving you. Uh, they're giving you a real condensed version of what has transpired before with these people, and we get to see how we get to the next chapter in this saga. So, Lysandra, you've seen the same what I did. I saw two as well, and the two that I saw, again, I liked them. I think I might just be overextending myself and putting a little too much on my plate. I can't watch everything, but I know I definitely wanted to see King Richard, and I really did. enjoy it. You said you like it and you wonder who has the power. I do too. But a part of me, a part of me is going to assume that it's the one woman in the group. Um, especially after, uh, especially after they said, and we don't know who the dragon reborn will be. And then the next cut was her sitting by the edge of the river. And I'm like, well, okay, was that foreshadowing for me? I don't know. It might have been trying to tell me that this is her. But I mean, it's three guys. One, which guy? Which one? The one with the two sisters? The one who lost his wife? Or the one who used to go with Egwene? Now, who is? Oh, let me see. You said you want to see what happens with the Iman character because he's going to cause problems. Now, who was Iman? Was that the one with the white outfit? Was that one of the? I forgot what they called them. Wearing the white. There's so much to know. We got the Aes Sedai, the one who was dating the girl. So Moiraine and her water land who were searching for the dragon reborn before he or she could be found by the dark one and his servants or his army of Trollocs. It's a lot to know. It's a lot to know. The children of light. You thinking it's Rand? That's what she said. So Bun says it's Rand as well. Someone who you thought was dead is not me too. I thought that person was dead as well. That person is very much alive. Yep. That was him with the white on. Yeah. Yeah, I like it so far. Um we get enough, just enough about each one of these characters to know what's in it for them. What would make them say, you know what, we're gonna go follow Moiraine. Because like with Rand, one of his reasons for following Moiraine is that and see that's one of the things, that's another one of the things that I was talking about, the but I'm gonna hit this. They followed Rand was going where Egwene was going. That's almost I can see that too because he hasn't told anybody, even though Lysandra, the one who got bitten, is one of the bad ones now. I can see how you would say that because he hasn't told anybody that he was bitten by this thing. He also didn't tell anybody about the truth about how his wife died. So I'm like, why wouldn't you tell them that unless he's being taken over, he's being overrun by by the Trollocs. The Trollocs were a mess. And that's what I meant where the VFX was a little shaky. This is, I mean, I guess they say it's a TV show. I don't know. Bezos seems to think he wanted his version of Game of Thrones. And I'm like, I haven't watched Game of Thrones, so I can't make the comparison. But um, those characters, the Trollocs, for example, was not. Um, I guess they were not convincing. Didn't show me that this is where we put some of our money. Again, they didn't use a costume designer who said, "Hey, everybody in here can't be clean." Now we out here fighting and carrying on with these animals and these monsters, and this is even before the Trollocs got here. How is everything look? Everything looks like a soundstage, and I don't like that. I don't like that we didn't get an opportunity to get immersed immersed into this the set pieces because they feel so real. They take us back to this era. No, that shit looks clean. This shit looks clean. And D said, "Yep, Rand Perrin was bitten. I'm waiting to see what happens with him. I am too. And he's a big dude. I mean, all these young men are kind of tall and whatnot. I don't think Matt is as tall as Rand and Perrin are, but Perrin is a big dude. And if he was the one, if he goes south, if things go bad and he goes bad with them, um, there's gonna be a problem. Because I don't think nobody gonna be able to handle him like easily if he turns into one of them big stupid Trollocs. You like the monsters? The monsters look fake, and I know they're not real, but they don't look like it just doesn't look like enough was put into the design of these beasts. Uh, I'm more afraid of the gosh, I can't. Is it the Children of Light? I'm more afraid of the black dude that's part of the Children of Light. I'm more afraid of him than I am of them Trollocs. Oh gosh. My goodness. Yeah, he was crazy. And it's like it wasn't even just craziness, it's like sinister. He is very sinister. Um and I won't go too much further into him because I can't remember if he didn't show up until the second episode or was he in the first episode. But yeah, so far, I'm in it to win it. There's a lot going on. Uh I'm wondering if the dude that sold Matt when Matt went and got that bracelet from old girl, talked her out of her bracelet, and then he went and sold it to the dude, and I forgot his name. When I wonder if that dude is kind of like diming them out, if he's like a bad guy. Now, who is the mystery? Uh, Perrin, the monster, the crazy man. Who is the mystery? He knows something ain't right. You said you wonder if he was bad. The old boy, that's what I'm saying. The guy, that one guy, he looked evil. Gee, then you see him, he just looked evil. And he was like, he wanted to give the little lanterns for their ceremony that they were having that night for his sisters. This dude really looked like something wasn't right with him. I don't trust him. And then when they were leaving with the with Moiraine, when the four people were leaving with her, he was kind of peeking around the corner watching, and I'm like, is he gonna tell um is he gonna tell them or tell whomever, the Children of Light, whoever, who was missing? I mean, why they're missing? Who they left with? Yeah, he got out of there quick, but the look he gave was not good to me. Okay, that's the name of the seller. That's who I was talking about. That's who I'm thinking about. Uh yeah, you're right, Bun. The look he gave was like, yeah, I could sell this information to somebody. It was basically what the way I looked at it is that he's looking at it as a way of just earning some more money because he's greedy. And Padan or Padan is the name of the seller. Yeah. Um it does have me. I'm not about to abandon watching this. And I guess next week we can talk about two episodes rather than rather than one. I mean, yeah, rather than one next week. We could talk about the third and the fourth episode next week. There are some parts of the second episode that it kind of bothered me. Like I'm wondering what's going on with Moraine's partner, Lan. I'm wondering what's going on with him because he led them to a place where they should not have been. Am I correct? He took them someplace um, that obviously they should not have been. And somebody broke the rules as soon as they got here, right? So what do we yeah, what do we think is gonna happen with that? I know you didn't see that one, D, but Bun, yeah, you're talking about the village where what I was just talking about when they got there and the Trollocs couldn't come in and we weren't supposed to be there. And yeah, I know you. Oh, no, wait a minute. I don't know if you saw all of. You said you saw how many? You saw two as well. Okay. Yeah, so we haven't, neither one of us have gotten past that part. And I don't want to know what happened past that if anybody has watched past the second episode. But yeah, I wonder what is going to happen with these people because the rules got broken. This man, it was two rules, right? The two rules was don't touch anything and don't eat anything except for what you brought here. No, I think only one of the rules got broken. But still, he broke a rule. Now what's going to happen? Moraine seems to think that he set them up. He set them up to fail. She was like, "You just killed all of us." So what the heck happened? Now I gotta go watch the next episode. See, I'm glad I started talking about this with y'all because now I'm very excited to see the next episode. And this is one where we are all on the same um we're all on the same page unless you've read the books. Like some people have read the books and that's one thing. I didn't read this series, so I don't have any idea what's coming. So we're all on the same page. I don't have any further knowledge about this than anybody else. So it's like we're all starting from scratch, and I kind of like that. And I don't know what the dead bats symbolized. And it was so disgusting when the young man pulled that bat out of his mouth. Oh, it was disgusting. That was probably the most realistic thing about this when he pulled that bat out of his mouth. I am, yeah. This is something. See, we should the three of us. We should damn near be watching this together. Shoot, because yeah, I want to know uh how this thing winds up. I want to know, of course we want to know. Of course we want to know who is the dragon reborn. Excuse me, but I think we've got I think Egwene is going to turn out to be an Aes Sedai. I think that she's got extra powers. She just hasn't realized it yet. Uh, and this dragon and this dark one continuously battle uh, as often as this wheel spins. And they say the threads are the lives of the men and women in that age. So all the people they say all the people that passed away are going to come back. They believe in that reincarnation side of things. You think she's going to have the light in her? Yeah, something something has got to be. She's special in some way, and she is not just run of the mill regular girl. We already saw how the old girl said, you don't listen to the wind listens to you. She already was supposed to be becoming one of those channelers of or the wisdoms to be able to give the village what the weather and all of this stuff was going to be. She got something different about her, and I'm keeping my eyes. But I wonder if she and Rand have have now just drifted apart where they're not going to be together, or if they get together again and she ends up having a baby. You said, yeah, the sapphire scene with Moiraine. Yeah, you were waiting for one of who? One of the men. That's why I feel like it won't be a man, because this girl got all these powers, even though she don't realize how to use them yet. She has some kind of power. She got like she could hear that them Trollocs coming before they even got there. That was number one. You say Egwene is going to hone in on her powers. Yeah. And that's where we are, I think, is that she is going to that she is starting to realize, yeah, it is something special about me. I do recognize. She heard them Trollocs coming before they got there. Then what's going to convince me? And I haven't seen episode 3 yet. No, nobody here has seen episode 3 yet. Is if she's able to heal uh Moiraine. If she can heal Moiraine, then we know we already got the answer. And she said, but wouldn't it be something if it's more than one dragon reborn? And that's the thing, because they keep saying the wheel of time, the wheel of time. So the wheel's spinning, and the same thing happens. Like a dragon is bored every time the wheel spins. So my question is, does it have, like you said, does it have to be one? If more than one was born, what would that do to the wheel of time? What would that do to the pattern that it was weaving? I wonder. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this third episode as soon as we get through. And I say that, and you know how I do, y'all. I don't be meaning a lot of y'all, but I still got these chicken tenders and these French fries sitting here that I ain't even began to eat yet. I'm starving and drunk a whole shake, so I'm all clogged up. Gotta go take a bit of drill because I don't know what it does to me now, but it does something. So now Moiraine reminds me of the sorcerer from He-Man. She be doing all her, but at least she try to make you convinced that she does wield this power, because the power doesn't look very uh it doesn't look very impressive. But her movements and how she pretends to wield it is very impressive to me. And you can't wait to watch the third one, Lysandra. Me either. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Um, is watch the third one and see what I should have even did this to myself. I wanted a doggone milkshake. I can't wait to see what happens next. I want to see not just the third one. I really wish they came out 2 episodes at a time every week, so that I don't have to wait. I hate waiting. I literally hate waiting, and I'm gonna have to wait to see I know this episode because of the one thing that we saw at the end of the second episode that made me say, this person is still alive. Now we going into that, and I want to know it's going to end with something that makes me say, I wish we had another episode. Uh, uh, uh. It says as soon as we get off here, it's going down. Well, we're getting off really soon. One of the things I did want to mention on this show as well is that tomorrow I'll be doing more than a movie Monday with King Richard. So I'll start it with King Richard. The following week we'll be doing Black and Missing. And Black and Missing is a show. Um, Black and Missing is a show on HBO and HBO Max that is going to be discussing, uh, I guess, the phenomenon of missing women, uh, missing young children, missing Black people, period, and how we are largely ignored by many of society's institutions when we do go missing. So that's it's a docu series that's coming on HBO Max, and I will be covering that as well on More Than a Movie Monday. That'll be November 29th. Keep your eyes and ears open. I will be sharing more information as we get closer to that date, but I wanted to put that in your mind because it won't be something that I'll do here on Stream Something Sunday, but we'll definitely talk about it on More Than a Movie Monday, and I hope you will join me in doing so. And one of the ways that you can keep up with what we're doing over on After the Snap is by subscribing to the show. You can we're going to give you movie reviews. We're going to give you streaming series recaps and discussions, much like what we've done here today, and entertainment news. Because we all love entertainment news, right? So, yeah. And of course, More Than a Movie Monday is something that has recently been added, and that is when something is more than a movie. It is something that is rooted in fact or something that people believe to be facts or a real story, biography, that type of thing, docu-series, documentaries, biopics, you name it. Those are the type of things we're going to cover on that show. That's going to be starting tomorrow, Monday at 7 p.m. CST. So I hope you will be able to join me. If you ever would like to donate to the show, there are a number of ways that you can do that. You can do a Cash App with the dollar sign and Quinn's Mama. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. If you don't understand what the heck I'm talking about, I'm Quinn's Mama. PayPal.me/after the snap if you want to donate via PayPal. You can do super chats or super stickers. I appreciate any help. It helps for me to continue putting this show on week after week after week, and I enjoy doing it. You can also become a patron if you want to provide ongoing support for the show. That's at patreon.com/Tasha Pierce. Patreon.com/Tasha Pierce. If you've got show ideas, discussions, anything you want to discuss, feedback you want to give me, you can do that at the email address at the bottom of the screen here. It is sinister.media.network@gmail.com. So sinister.media.network@gmail.com. I surely look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, we've got Oh, and Davina is reminding me because I'm going to be doing my show November 29th, where I'll be covering um, Black and Missing. But if you'd like to watch it on HBO or HBO Max, you can do that beginning November 23rd. They will have 2 episodes. Then the following day, November 24th, they'll have 2 episodes that they'll play back to back. You can also stream it on HBO Max. Okay. Is there anything else I forgot to talk about? Next week we will continue our coverage of Star Trek Discovery. We'll continue our coverage with the Wheel of Time, especially now that I know I got some people watching with me. We'll continue our coverage of the Wheel of Time. Um, and we're going to be adding other stuff, of course, starting with, let me see, next week. Yeah, it'll be time for Hawkeye. Lord, gosh, that got here so quickly. We'll be watching Hawkeye, and you can join us on Sunday. That'll be added. And if we get an opportunity to watch any, what is it, Tiger King? Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you, Davina. I wish I had a dance to do. I wish I had a dance. Hey, hey, hey. But we could we're gonna do Hawkeye. And if we ever anybody ever gets into Tiger King, we can discuss that a little bit. I'm not about to promise that Tiger King thing. Like I said, I watched a dumpster fire, and the way that first round was, it was absolutely bonkers. And I do particularly want to watch the second one, but with all the stuff that we've got on our plate, it's kind of hard to do. Um, so let me know, but send me an email, write it in the comments, put it in the chat, what you want to what you guys want to discuss. What's more important to you? Now, this DMX documentary that Divina is reminding me about, that's coming on November 25th on HBO and HBO Max. And I forgot the name of it. Remind me of the name of that. But the DMX documentary, I'm also going to be covering on More Than a Movie Monday, but it's going to be further down the line. I've got Black and Missing. I got King Richard this Monday, Black and Missing next Monday, and the following Monday I've got House of Gucci. So it'll be probably a month before I even talk about this DMX documentary. We'll see. Yep. Oh, so do I got anything else? I don't think I do. It's been fun. I enjoyed hanging out and those good conversations that we were having about Star Trek Prodigy, Discovery, and the Wheel of Time. Meet me back here next week on Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Meet me back here for more of the same. And oh, I see another comment. I see another comment. The name of that DMX show was Don't Try to Understand. Don't try to understand. And of course, House of Gucci is in theaters only starting this Tuesday. Uh, House of Gucci, we got a little while because I'm getting the King Richard and I'm getting the Black and Missing long before I get to House of Gucci. Oh gosh. Yes. So with all that being said, this has been fun. And if this was your first time here, I hope you subscribe to the channel. I hope you hit like on this thing here on this video so that people will know I even exist. Because it's I know at least 6 of you know I exist. I don't know if anybody else knows, and to put me on the radar, your engagement helps. So everybody who has commented, thank you. Super chat. Thank you. I can, if I had a hat on, I would tip it to you. My super chatter, Davina Lark. And yeah, and hitting the like button wherever you're watching this. So if you're watching this on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, big up me because I'm trying to grow. I want to grow. I want to be watching I want to be watching Hawkeye a week early, like everybody else did, and here I got to wait. But anywho, okay, thank you for being here with me. You don't want to hear me whining. I will see you tomorrow if you're coming for More Than a Movie Monday at 7 p.m. Central. If not, I'll see you when I see you. Hey.